Welcome back to Andy Collier-talks cricket memorabilia with Craig Hawkins. Now we've done the top half of this cabinet. Now we're just going to go through the bottom half. All sorts of lovely colour caps there with Australia and whatever, and I can see New Zealand cap. So over to you, Craig, to talk us a little bit through this bottom cap.
The bottom half, yeah. Well, top half, as you saw, is the Australian baggy greens and the caps relating to Australian cricket at a high level. This shelf just here on this side here, I've got all the one-day caps that I've been able to accumulate on behalf of Australians. The top one is Mark Waugh, I've got Alan Border, I've got Kim Hughes, I've got Greg Chappell, I've got Ray Bright. There's in the collection 2 caps here. This one here is a really interesting one because it was presented to the Australian team who represented at the Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur 1998. Given a cap, I've got 2 in the collection, Brendan Julian here, and up on the wall in a frame is Adam Gilchrist's. One of the Rebel caps from the tour of the Rebel tours to South Africa in the 1980s, done by Kim Hughes. The fielding hat down the bottom, one of Ray Bright's one-day fielding hats. The one next to it is the miniature cap that the Australian cricketers now get for representing your country. The English players get an ornamental cap. The Australian players get given a miniature. That's one from Barry Jarman from the 50s and 60s. On the side here, we've got the T20 caps, all of the baseball style, which is the genre of the T20, I guess. The thing that I like about them, where possible, most of them have got the player's number on the side. So you can actually physically tell that these are player issue caps and who the player relates to. We've got Brett Lee, we've got Matthew Wade, we've got Jason Gillespie, and a couple of others. The one in the middle, the white cap, very interesting cricket cap. It's the only time in Test history where both teams wore the same cap. It's from the 1988 bicentennial Test at the Sydney Cricket Ground. But every player in both teams was presented the one cap, and they were worn as part of the uniform for that game. So I've been very lucky enough to have one of them. Sits right there. On the cabinet to the left, on Andy's side over there, we've got 2 totems. The bulk of that collection on that side is related to a gentleman called Derek Townsend, who was a Zimbabwean. Many years ago, I was offered pretty much his entire collection. The story's a little bit unfortunate, but Townsend was looking to offload his collection to get a bit of health treatment, and I very happily put my hand up and said I'll give the entire collection a home. Being South African, or being Zimbabwean in Harare where he was, a good number of South African caps, but he also traded caps with players that came through and played games at the ground. So we have a couple of New Zealand caps, we've got a couple of Sri Lankan caps. We have Alvin Kalacharian's West Indian cap just here. I believe in the mix there's also an England cap, a couple of Zimbabwe caps, and there is the one tucked in the back there which shouldn't really be hidden away, but it's the smallest cap in the collection. That's Barry Richards' cap from the 1970 Rest of the World tour. When the South African tour was cancelled in 1970, they picked up a Rest of the World team, and that's Barry Richards' cap from that tour.
Excellent.
Couple of Queensland caps, which I've just put in there. Basically, I've got to put them somewhere, but they're part of another collection which has come in. So they're the 2 bulk shelves. Down the bottom, I've got 2 smaller shelves, which again, a lot of my collection's been built over years by acquiring certain collections from people who, for whatever reason, are moving them on. Robin Marler, well-known English cricket person, auctioned a lot of his caps up probably 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. I picked up the bulk of the collection, and they sit here in the cabinet here. The one, again, on the bottom shelf immediately close to Andy, that's the side bottom collection. Alan and yes, know him well, played a number of games.
Arnie Sidebottom.
Yep, I have his. I've got caps from England. I've got caps from Yorkshire. I've got England under 17 and 19 representative caps. So just the fact that I can have and say that I've got the whole collection from father and son, both of whom played for England, so they live very happily there. So that completes the bottom half of a fairly hefty cabinet, which is in the middle of my boardroom, and it causes a lot of conversation. And very often the conversation spends more time on cricket than what we're really here for.
As you do. Yeah.
As we do, yeah.
Great. Well, that's fantastic, Craig. It's a magnificent collection, I've got to say. So we'll drop off here and we can go on to the next one. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour around this particular cabinet, and we'll see you on the next one.